Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe. So we continue to read from Saints of Vraj, page 339, chapter 32, the story of Sri Gopal Das Babaji. Great devotee. Gopal Das took after his father. When he was still very young, he seemed indifferent to the world and spent most of his time in bhajan. Meghavarn Sharma was very happy to see this. Like a true father, he gave him diksha and advised him to go to Braj and do bhajan after taking vesh from a saint in the disciplic order of Sri Narottam Thakur Mahashaya. Gopal Das was unusually fortunate. Generally, people have to pass through many ups and downs, doubts and difficulties, and periods of uncertainty and irresolution before they learn that the only purpose of life is to do bhajan and realize the Lord. And they have to struggle hard with themselves and their family if they want to renounce the world. But Gopal Das owned samskaras, and his discerning and beneficent father's guidance made everything so easy and smooth for him. He went to Braj and took vesha from Sri Vinoda Dasji, a disciple of Sri Damodar Dasji, in the disciplic succession of Sri Narottam Thakur. Vinodaji lived near Chakaleshwara Mahadev in Govardhan. He advised him to go and live in Radhakund and study the Shastras from Sri Ishwar Dasji. He lived in Radhakund for 3 years and studied Srimad Bhagavatam and the works of the Gaudiya Goswamis from Ishwar Dasji. He also wanted to learn Brajabhasha, but Ishwar Dasji told him, "It would be good for you not to learn Brajabhasha," which is the language of Vraj. "If you learn, you will come close to the Brajabasis. Your contacts with them will create disturbance in your bhajan, and the chances of your committing offenses against them will also increase."
So this is very, interesting for us, for me, because they are born in their Vaishnava family. Still to get cross association of Brajavashi is also not so very good. Also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, Mahaprabhu also said to, I think, Jagadananda or some person, somebody want to visit Vrindavan, and then Mahaprabhu is asking, don't stay longer, and short visit, and always under the guidance of like Sanatana Goswami, etc. So this is like for foreigner, for us, we are foreigner, so we are also understand. But Mahaprabhu time, or even this time also, some guru say like this. This is for me very interesting.
Radhe Radhe Gurudev, are you there?
Radhe?
Radhe Radhe.
Yeah, Radhe. Yeah. I'm here.
Thank you, Guru.
Thank you.
We just. So why Gurudev is easy to make offense to Brajavasi? Like how we have to be careful when we are in Vrindavan to deal with the Brajavasis. How to be careful? Like here.
More. No. So, give to everyone. Actually, carefulness means language. When we involve to know the language, then we have to know the good and bad things. But we have to know only good thing of Krishna. So that way, there is not need to be a doubtful person. That is. So we keep distance also at the same time. When you have no language, you not go in their personal life. And personal life, they are also normal person. Their behavior is normal with the family. And then you feel wrong reactions come by their behavior. But actually, the thing is this, the Brajvasi is how connected is with Krishna, then we not understand that. We see the normal person, but they are really how they are connected and how they have a service mode to give their things. We will not feel that. We will see the only minus point. In some reason, that we will talk with the ladies and Mataji, and we will go inside their behavior. So it's better to be little keep distance and see the quality inside that.
What Gurudev you said that we should always respect the Brajavasi because actually we don't know who they are and they are not ordinary persons.
Because they are very connected that we will not see with Krishna. We will see the bad normal thing. They are doing like I am. They are fighting, they have no good nature. Like this, we will see the wrong. So language makes you close to them. You don't see that. This is the reason of telling to his disciples.
Thank you, Guru. Very clear. So after completing his study of the Shastras, Gopal Das Baba kept wandering in Vraja for some time. He did not live at any particular place for more than a day. But in the end, he settled down in village Koni and began to live near Vamsikunda in that village. He got Madhukari from the Brajavasis and ate only once in the evening. If any day he got more Madhukari than he could eat, he did not go for Madhukari on subsequent days until the Madhukari he already had was finished. He ate with pleasure whatever he got in Madhukari, even if it was stale or rotten. But if he got sweets or other good things, he did not eat them. He gave them away to others. He used only earthen utensils made from the dust of Vraja. He lived in Koni for 40 years. But he loved very much the company of Sri Hari Gopal Das Baba, a disciple of Siddha Madhusudan Das Babaji. Hari Gopal Das Baba lived in Suryakunda. Therefore, after 40 years, he shifted to Suryakunda and began to live in the veranda of an old temple there at the bank of Suryakund. Baba used to read at least one chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam every day. When he became 90 years old, he lost his eyesight. This pained him very much because he could not read Bhagavatam anymore. One afternoon, when he was brooding over his plight, he became drowsy. In his drowsiness, he saw an exquisitely beautiful girl, the luster of whose body filled the surroundings with divine light that was soothing beyond description. She looked at him tenderly and asked in compassionate voice, "Baba, you seem to be in distress. Tell me what afflicts you." Baba said, "Lali, I have lost my eyesight and I cannot read Bhagavatam. Life hangs heavy on me. What is the use of a life in which Bhagavad Path and darshan of the deities and the Mahatmas is not possible?" "Then do not worry, Baba," said the girl assuredly. "You have the garment on which the name Radheshyam is printed. Tie it round your eyes when you go to sleep tonight. In the morning, you will find that your eyesight is restored." As soon as Baba heard this, his drowsiness was broken, but the sweet voice of the girl was still ringing in his ears, and her lustrous figure was lingering in his mind. As she had bidden, he slept at night with the garment on which Radheshyam was printed tied round his eyes. Next morning, when he got up, he was happy to find that he could see everything as before. The daily routine of his Bhagavat path was resumed, but the girl has stolen his heart. He was convinced that she was Radharani, upon whom he had meditated day and night. Who else could be so kind and affectionate? But now it was impossible for him to live without her. He was constantly shedding tears in her separation. He could not bear the separation very long. On June 3, 1971, at midday, which is the time, according to the Astayama Lila, when Radharani goes with her Sakis to Suryakund for sun worship, he left the body to meet her in transcendental Suryakund in his Siddha Saki Deha. Baba used to say that three things were important for a sadhaka. Sant Seva, the first is Sant Seva, which is service of the saints. The second is Harinam, and the third, faith in Vraja Raja, the dust of Vrindavan. You like to share? Something Gurudev in this.
एक फंड इकट्ठे बगा जो बर्थ वाले की जो काबर ला रहे हम काबर रोकते हैं हम लोग
Baba used to say that 3 things were important for a sadhaka. The first is Sant Seva, service of the saints. The second, Harinam. And third, faith in Vraja Raja.
Vraja Raj.
Raja Raja.
Just. Heart of the blood.
Faith in Vraja was more important than even the service of the saints and Harinam, because at the time of death, Sant Seva, the Seva of the saints, was not possible, and Harinam, holy name, often departed. But Vraja Raj did not live a sadhaka, who lived in Braj with faith until the end. Gopal Das Babaji ki jai. Sorry. Thank you. For something.
So this Baba mentioned at the time of death, the body does not work properly, so we cannot serve. Or even holy name also, sometimes we may, it is difficult to chant also, because, consciousness may not proper. But Vraja Raj, especially Vraja Bas, is always influence of Yoga Maya, and also Radharani's foot dust. So special kind of care, powers kind of infuse us, protect us. So therefore, many sadhu want to stay in Vrindavan, very firm faith. So in that sense, so it is understandable. So this is, I cannot say so much.
So we continue. Sri Harigopal Goswami. Sri Harigopal Goswami was a descendant of Sri Narayan Bhatta Goswami, to whom the deity Radharani in the temple at Barsana first appeared, and who, at the behest of Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatana, completed the remaining task of the rediscovery of the holy places connected with the Leela of Sri Krishna. which they and their forerunner, Sri Lokanath Goswami, had started. He was a disciple of Sri Duleshwar Goswami of Unchagram.
Unchagram is Lalita Sakhi's place.
Yeah?
Not so far from Vraja.
Not Vraja, quite near.
Village of Lalita Sakhi.
It's in Vashan or the Paragram, right? You're passing the village, no?
No. If from Varshana, maybe little bit light place, a little mountain there.
He used to live in Nimaran in Alvara state, where he had his gaddi, which is the seat of an acharya, the gaddi, and the temple of his Thakur Sri Lanile Sarakar. Lanile Sarkar was the deity Bal Gopal, presented to Narayan Bhatta Goswami by Sri Krishna himself. Lanile Gopal, like Lokanath Goswami's deity Gokulananda, helped Narayan Bhatta Goswami in the discovery of Leela Stalis, of Leela places, of Vraja. The Raja of Alavar, the king of Alavar, was his disciple. He was a Vaidya, physician, by profession, but he was also a great Pandit. He was well versed in Hindi, Sanskrit, Telugu, and English. He had thorough knowledge of the 6 systems of Indian philosophy and the 6 Sandarbhas of Sri Jiva Goswami. He had made a special study of Srimad Bhagavatam. He was by nature very simple and saintly. In spite of his learning, lineage, and status as the Raja Guru of the Raja of Alvar, his living was most simple and unostentatious. This word? Unostentatious.
Ostentatious, yeah.
Which means?
What do you mean?
Senza ostentazione, no?
Come?
Senza ostentazione, quindi senza falsifico.
English?
Cioè, being humble, no? Like a lot of knowledge, but remain humble.
Very humble.
Because when you have a lot of knowledge, you can be proud and say, I know this and that. But in this case, he was, I believe, very humble.
Still, his fame had reached the people of Haryana. Many Thakurs, Gujaras, and Yadavas of Haryana were his disciples. He used to pass most of his time quietly in bhajan. In his old age, he shifted from Alvara to Unchagram near Barsana, so that he might spend all his time in bhajan without any interruption. He also took along with him his Thakur Sri Lanilaji. In Unchagram, he lived in his ancestors' old Dauji's temple, in which Narayan Bhatta used to live. In front of the temple, at the top of the hill, is the old temple of Lalita Sakhi. On the right-hand side of Lalitaji's temple is a beautiful spot covered by green bowers and thick foliage. Here, Goswamiji used to sit and do bhajan throughout the day. He returned home at night, but most of the night also.
Catch that. Could you try again?
But most of the night also, he passed in bhajan.
I'm still not sure.
But most of the night also, he passed in bhajan. His eyes were always wet in remembrance of Radharani. Thus, he passed the last 20 years of his life quietly in bhajan. On the night of March 30, 1990, when he was more than 100 years old, but in good health, he suddenly exclaimed, I will go! I will go! The doors of Sriji's Radharani's temple have opened. Purnamasi has come. The other members of the family got up from their sleep with a start. They asked in bewilderment, Where will you go? It is 12 o'clock at night. Sriji's temple is closed. God alone knows whether he heard them. He went on repeating, Radhe, Radhe. At 2 o'clock, the crown of his head rent and his room was aglow with a divine light. His body fell back on the pillow, and his soul, passing through the Brahma Randhra, flew to Radharani's Kunja in the form of her Saki to live with her and serve her eternally. Shri Hari Gopal Das Goswami ki Jai. Hari Gopal Das Goswami.
We are so ignorant, because, we are so neophyte and we are practicing Vaidhi Bhakti. If we are practicing, Radhanaga Bhajan, we may have darshan. This 1990s, very just 32. That's only mercy we could meet sadhu.
It's right now mercy. Right now, yes.
Now also mercy, but this is interesting. Do you know about Narayan Bhatta Goswami?
Some connection with Gopala. They have some connection with Gopala because Bhatta.
Bhatta is like some kind of Pharisee.
Title. Not family.
Title. And we heard before, Rupa Sanatana and Goswamis, 6 Goswamis, they are kind of Pharisee. Try to establish the lost holy place. And then Narayan Bhatta Goswami is after, I don't know how much generation, I don't know, 1 generation, 2 generation, 3 generation, I'm not sure. But after that, Narayan Bhatta Goswami is more deep, innovate, more find out. And he kind of did Vraja Mandala, Parikiram. So I don't know exactly what this have mentioned. That very famous Goswami after 6 Goswami.
He was he the one, because I've read about two, was he the one in the lineage of Nautam Das Thakur?
That was before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry, I don't know.
We proceed?
Yes.
Next one.
Yes, please.
Okay. Chapter 34. Sri Ramakrishna Das Babaji. Avyavrita Bhajanat. In this aphorism, Sri Narada Muni says that success in the practice of devotion is achieved through ceaseless bhajan. The essence of bhajan is ceaseless remembrance of the Lord. Sri Krishna says, Ananya chetaha satatam yomam smarati nityashaha tasyaham sulabaha partha nitya yuktasya yoginaha. O Arjuna, I am easily reached by the yogi who constantly thinks of me. who has no other thought and is ceaselessly attached to me. The devotee cannot tolerate even a moment's break in continuous remembrance of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam says, if the devotee is offered all the wealth and splendor of the three worlds in exchange for this continuance of remembrance of the lotus feet of the Lord, even for half a second, he remains unmoved. How can he detach himself from the divine feet, which even the devas fail to realize through constant meditation? Sri Ram Krishna Das Babaji's life is an illustrious example of ceaseless bhajan. Born in 1911 with strong samskaras of bhakti in a village near Jasohara in East Bengal, he did not lose time in determining his goal and dashing towards it like an arrow. He renounced the world at the early age of 17 or 18, immediately after passing the intermediate examination. Went to Sri Ram Das Babaji Maharaj, the renowned saint of Patabani Ashram, Calcutta, took initiation from him and stayed with him for some time to serve him. Then, with his permission and blessings, he went to Varanasi to study Sanskrit and the Shastras. He studied Srimad Bhagavatam, Sat Sandarbha, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ujjval Nilamani, and other important Bhakti Shastras. After completing his study of the Shastras, he went to Vrindavan, took Vesha from his god-brother, Sri Rajani Babaji Maharaj of Govindakund, Vrindavan, and proceeded to Maghera, a small village about 4 miles from Chatikara, for lifelong ceaseless bhajan. An essential part of his bhajan was kirtan. He performed kirtan 4 times during the day. Prabhati kirtan early in the morning at 3:30 a.m., Madhyana kirtan at midday, Arti kirtan in the evening, and Abhisar kirtan at night at about 10 p.m. These are all means like Lila kirtan. So, he performed kirtan 4 times during the day. Prabhati kirtan early in the morning at 3:30. I don't know the Sanskrit transliteration, but it's like a Lila kirtan. That you do kirtan singing the Leelas. Huh?
On the ground, cooking.
I think 3:30 a.m.
Oh.
So probably when you wake up.
Nishantalila.
In Nishantalila. Then Madhyana kirtan at midday, middle kirtan, Madhya. Arti kirtan in the evening, and Abhisar kirtan in the night. So when Radharani goes out to meet Krishna. Abhisar kirtan at night at about 10 p.m. He performed kirtan at such a high pitch that his voice could be heard in the remotest corner of the village. His engrossment in kirtan was so deep that sometimes during kirtan he exclaimed aloud, "Hanitai" or "Ha Radhe," and fell senseless on the ground. All the rest of his time he spent in Giridhari Seva and Lila Smaran. Not a moment of his life was lost without Smarana. He was often heard repeating the following lines of Hanuman. Kaha Hanuman Vipati Prabhu Soi Jabatava Sumiran Bhajana na hoi. O Lord, when there is no remembrance or bhajan of your lotus feet, that time is the time of the greatest calamity or misfortune. Even while Baba attended to his bodily needs, like easing nature or bathing, his smarana went on uninterrupted. That time he used to be primarily engaged in smarana. The bodily activities went on automatically on account of habit.
This is amazing. Wow. You may say.
Tell.
Tell.
Okay. This remind me how Gurudev was absorbed by the mercy of his Guru. Then he told all this, his bodily function going automatically without his absorption. He not noticed. And his wife told that he not speaking, his like was absent in this time.
Loud, please.
After repeat loud.
Sri Gurudev,
Without
I remember how you narrated.
Put close.
Like this. Radhe.
more loud.
Radhe. More loud.
Actually, that's more thing.
I remember how Srila Gurudev narrated his own story. By the mercy of his Gurudev, Radha Govinda Goswami, he was in trance. In this trance, he not taking care of but his body, but body perform bodily functions automatically. But all consciousness was in transcendental world. These stories remind me, but yeah, Radhe.
After a few years of strictly disciplined life and constant bhajan, he conquered sleep and hunger. He used to be engaged in bhajan constantly from 3:30 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. the next day, thus sleeping only for 1 hour out of the 24 hours in a day.
My God.
And the other way around. He went out for Madhukari to only 3 houses at midday. If he did not get anything from them, he returned to his kutir and fasted instead of wasting time by going to other houses. He ate only 2 rotis chapati in the day and 1/4 of a roti at night. It may seem incredible from the bodily point of view that one may live long if he sleeps and eats so little. But, as we have already seen in so many other cases, the saints who practice bhajan constantly rise above the body. They drink deep of the nectar that drips into their hearts from above at the time of smarana. It is this that keeps them alive and happy. The condition in which Baba lived was itself a proof that he had risen above the body. His kutir was so small that he could hardly lie down in it with his legs fully stretched. Around the kutir, the land was so low that during rains it was flooded and the kutir was cut off from the rest of the village. Baba had to wade through the flooded land every time he went out for Madhukari. The mosquitoes also plagued and pestered his body beyond description. Yet he seemed to be either totally unaware or unmindful of them. The villagers requested him to move to some other place in the village, but he refused. He regarded the situation as even more favorable to him because it deterred people from going to him and causing disturbance in his bhajan. Gurudev, can I ask you from this what we are reading, how it seems so important to always have one fixed place for bhajan, if you could share something on this.
When the test is coming in bhajan, then bodily consciousness slowly is not disturbing. Kripa bhajan, Guru Kripa bhajan, if every moment new realizations of Leela Smart. So that person who is doing that way, then he forget his bodily consciousness. His realization, it cannot understand the understanding by not mind. Without doing, we cannot realize it. We have to do it. This is only hint how beautiful bhajan gives the realization.
After some time, Baba became blind, but this did not make him unhappy, because after he lost his physical eyes, his spiritual eyes opened. He could see Radha and Krishna and talk with them. People often heard him talking. So far, Baba had not accepted any disciple, but after his blindness, he accepted 2 disciples, Prana Gauranga Das and Madan Mohan Das, one of whom always lived near him in a separate kutir and served him. Baba asked both of his disciples not to accept money from anyone. He neither touched money himself nor allowed his disciples to touch it. If he needed anything for the service of his giridhari or for the protection of his own body, that also he did not accept from any person who offered it. There was no question of his accepting it, if it was brought from outside Vraja or was purchased with the money of a person who lived out of Vraja. If inadvertently some such thing was brought, he always came to know about it and asked his disciples to return it. Once Baba fell ill. He was taken for treatment to his Guru ashram in Vrindavan. I went to see him, since I had known him for some time, and he was very kind to me. I requested him to take some milk because he was too weak. After a good deal of persuasion, he agreed. I arranged for the supply of milk. A few days later, my friend Sri Ariram Singhania, an industrialist of Calcutta, came to Vrindavan. He requested me to take him to some Siddha saint for darshan. I took him to Baba. He was very much impressed by him and wanted to do some service to him. I said, Baba does not accept any service from anyone. He also does not need anything except Madhukari. With great difficulty, he has agreed to take milk for a few days. At once he said, Then please, let the milk be supplied at my expenses. I agreed, rather reluctantly. Singhaniaji had not yet paid for the milk, but he could not remain hidden from Baba's keen spiritual sense that henceforth the milk he would drink would be purchased with the money of a person who lived outside of Vraja. The very next day he called his disciple Madan Mohan and said, Madan, I will not live here. Take me back to Maghera immediately. Madan said, Baba, everything here is so favorable and your health has begun to improve. You should stay here until you are quite well. No, you don't know. There is parapeksha, dependence on others here. I cannot stay here even for a moment. Get a tonga at once. Tonga was the old kind of vehicle used to with the horses.
Okay.
Or bulls used to move in these times. There was no rickshaw, of course.
With big wheels?
So that, yeah. Madan had to bring a tonga and take him back to Maghera the same day. Once again, Baba fell ill in 1984. His godbrother, Sri Vishwarupa Das Baba, who lived in Ral, a village about 4 miles from Maghera, took him to Ral for treatment. He kept him in a room in Basanti Ki Bagicha, close to his own kutir. Baba was physically ill, but spiritually he seemed to swim always in the ocean of bliss. The waves of the ocean tossed him up and down, and he sometimes laughed, sometimes wept, and sometimes cried aloud like one who had gone mad, because the bliss was too intense for his frail body and mind to contain. One night, at about 1 o'clock, he shouted, Jai Nitai! Jai Nitai! And became unconscious. Vishwarup Baba came running. When he saw him lying unconscious, he apprehended that he had perhaps breathed his last. He cocked hold of his wrist to feel his pulse, but as soon as he touched Baba, a heart-rending sound emanated from his throat, and a shock like that of an electric current threw Vishwarup Baba 3 or 4 feet away from his bed. Perhaps Baba had seen Nityananda Prabhu, and his body was charged with a divine current that caused the shock, the electric shock. The disciple Vishwarupa went to him to feel the pulse because he thought that he left the body. And as soon as he touched to him, he was moved away 3-4 feet like an electric shock. The next day was Ekadashi. At 1 o'clock at night, when Baba was engaged in bhajan, he saw that his guru, Shri Ram Das Babaji, Param Guru, Shri Radharaman Charan Das Deva, and a number of other Mahatmas entered the Bagicha, the garden, dancing and performing kirtan to the accompaniment of mridanga and kartals. They say to him, "We are going to Vrindavan. You also come." With this, they suddenly disappeared and Baba fell unconscious. On Trayodasi, May 13, 1984, at noon, Baba sent for Sri Shivacharan Varshaneya, a disciple of one of his godbrothers. When he came, Baba was doing japa. He said to him, Babaji Maharaj, Sri Ramdas Baba, and Bane Baba, Sri Radharaman Charandas Deva, have asked me to go to Vrindavan. So please take me there at once. So he said to this person who just came that his guru and his param guru, they appeared and told him to go to Vrindavan. So he asked him, please take me there. Varshaneya ji said, Baba, it is very hot just now. Let us go in the evening. No, I shall go just now. Don't waste time. Varshaneya ji brought a tonga. Baba sat in the tonga along with Varshaneya ji and Madan Mohan. As Varshaneya ji touched Baba to help him get into the tonga, he felt that a current ran through his body. Baba's body was still charged with the divine current that had struck him and made him unconscious on the Ekadashi day. Gurudev?
Yeah.
I want to ask that these disciples of Baba, being close to him, when they receive these kind of electric shocks and they see the different symptoms of bhav in their Gurudev, is not explained here, but surely how much mercy they're getting. So is it that basically just by being close to one such saint, Siddha saint, that is the maximum that a sadhaka, that someone can do, because you naturally get all the experiences of bhajan just by being close to him, to being close to his body. Like, this is much more powerful than doing any kind of sadhana, austerities, penance just by oneself, right?
Yeah. One time, my Guru, 334, he is 120 years old, and he starts shouting very highly, Nitai, Nitai. And this voice is coming up to gate from his room. Whole temple was listening that voice. We are sitting and doing bhajan, and he was in his ecstasy. And his vibration, he was so charged that whole room was charged. Now, this becomes like a current. We go to see the saintly person to receive that current of vibration. Only the darshan of the Mahajans change our life. One of my godbrother, he was Austrian from Vienna. He every year come to December only for 1st of January to be with him, because he never talked English, my Baba, and he never understand any Hindi. But he only sits in his front and he feels so charged by his vibration that he don't need to ask anything. I said, why you come? And why not you ask any question? He said, my all answer is clear when I sit in the front of him. And he was really deep in his bhajan. Krishnadas and Radhadas. I see from my eyes. And when I go a preaching program, he don't want to talk with me. He said, you leave your Guru there, you dress red color and you are preaching. I don't want to see you. Then she thinks that I changed my Guru or something. So his
Who
love
say
was,
this to you? Who say this to you, Gurudev?
huh? He thinks that I changed my Guru and I become sannyas.
Who thinks? You say?
Krishnadas, my God.
Krishnadas. Okay, sorry.
Don't want to meet with him. I went to see him. And then he don't want to see me. Then I talk. No, I want to see you. Then we talk, and when he understands that no, I am not changed anything, then he talks. Doing the service of Gurudev, what he said to me to do, I do that. Then he's ready to talk something. How much faith in Gurudev and love with Gurudev. Only we have to realize and meet that saintly person. They are always hiding and living. Many are still in Vrindavan or Barsane. Is always in his service mood and chanting. Deep in they are relishing the real meaning of the bhajan. No other material desire. Really.
और क्लीन करना था चाबी दीदी का चाबी आपके पास है
Why I see from my eyes, I feel and I understand. Bhajan means very heavy current in the body of the bhajanana. And vibration of currents are moving out. This is the waves. And they love so much to their Ishtadev that they have a direct connection. All their activities and thinking is only for Ishtadev. Nothing else. Mind is not going other place. That's it. That is the viewer. And only they are watching their pastime. And what is happening is also is marked. This mantra is a mystic power. How deep you go in your life. More very inspiring.
I can share, Gurudev, one small story on this matter.
Yeah.
But of the power of the current of bhajan of the saints. This story is about you, actually. So there was in 2011 or 12, in Kartik time, the Italian devotees came here, Ramananda, Sanatani, who they are here also now. And there was one lady, friend of Vrindavaneshwari, the Italian small woman, old lady. So this was just a friend of her. She never stayed with devotee or anything. And she is a professor of philosophy, actually, in high school. And she was a big atheist. Not just that she not believe in God, but very activist. Like knowing all the philosophers of atheism, doing conference, like was an intellectual lady. And she was coming and was telling all her convictions and ideas and beliefs, why she believed that, she doesn't believe in God and all these things, like very prepared, not just, ordinary atheist. Then she came to Vrindavan, and the first or second day, she came downstairs here in the basement to see Gurudev, and she stayed here for some time. And she not talk even with Gurudev very much, Of course, Gurudev always ask, welcome, who are you, how are you, and what are you doing, and all these things, but not any personal talk, really. When she came out from the basement, then she told to Ramananda, I don't know who is that man sitting down there, but he just destroyed all my belief and conviction about atheism. I am very confused. I don't know what to do, what to believe. And after 10 or 15 days, she got Harinam also.
So what now?
She's now in Italy. She's living in Rome. We don't see her much, but she's on the Radha Dasyam Italy group, chat group and WhatsApp. So
Still?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, just Gurudev even did not say so many things to her in a, let's say, verbal way or personal way, but okay. So at 2:30 p.m., the Tonga reached the Guru Ashram of Baba. At Guru Ashram, non-stop Hari Kirtan had been going on for 30 years. Baba said, "Take me to the place of Kirtan." He went and sat there and remained sitting in meditation for about half an hour. He was perhaps waiting for Nishrimma Chaturdasi, which was to start after half an hour. As soon as Nishrimma Chaturdasi started, he shouted, "Jai Nitai, Jai Radhe," and left the body to meet his Gurudev and Param Gurudev in transcendental Vrindavan, and to play his part in the divine Leela of Radha Krishna under their guidance. Everyone had thought that Baba had gone to Vrindavan, but would return to Maghera after a few days, as he had done before. But this time he was called to the transcendental Vrindavan, from where no one ever returned. If he appeared to have gone to the phenomenal Vrindavan, it was because what appeared as the phenomenal Vrindavan was itself the transcendental Vrindavan. It appeared as phenomenal to people whose vision was perverted. To one like Baba, whose spiritual eyes had opened, it was the same transcendental Vrindavan where Krishna Lila was eternally going on, where not only the Gopas and Gopis, but the birds and animals, the trees and creepers, and even the grass and the dust were made of Sat, existence, Chit, intelligence, and Ananda, bliss, and were eternally engaged in the service of Krishna, where everything was tuned to the flute of Krishna, where even time stood still or flowed, and space expanded or contracted like the petals of a lotus, according to the sweet will of Krishna. It was the same Vrindavan which surpassed in beauty all the other lokas, planets, including Vaikuntha and Goloka, and the same Vrindavan to which Sri Prabodhananda Sarasvati Pad pointed out when he said, "Oh, this Vrindavan of mine, stationed above every other dham, how it shines near me like a big moon in all its resplendent beauty." Vrindavan Mahimamrita 483. Shri Ram Krishna Das Babaji ki. Gurudev, sorry again. I want to ask that this Vrindavan is surpassing beauty in all the other lokas, including Vaikuntha and Goloka. Can you share how it surpasses in beauty Goloka? Vaikuntha we know is Narayan, but Goloka.
This Vrindavan, the person who keep his body here, fortunately by Nitai mercy, we can realize it. He has everything. He has nothing problem. When he come, he think how he will manage. When you start living, you don't know how to manage outside. This is Vrindavan. My Gurudev said, you travel and preach whole world. I was trying. Then he said, no. After this, you will stay in Vrindavan. After life, you will stay. Let's see. This is his mercy. I'm giving. I have no desire to go out. Without mercy of Nitai, without mercy of Gurudev, is not happening. All the circumstances he makes favorable to stay here. And we are lucky that we are living in Vrindavan. We have to be fortunate to be living in Vrindavan. Because Vrindavan for Gaudiya Vaishnava, that's a Goloka Vrindavan. But Vrindavan Goloka, that is more deep meaning there. In Vrindavan there is a Goloka for Gaudiya Vaishnava. Because Parkya Bhav is in Goloka Vrindavan. In Vrindavan Goloka is Goloka. That is Divya Vrindavan. Yeah. Radhe.
Let's go. I never understood.
Sorry?
If you can repeat that story which Gurudev just stated about his Gurudev, how to go and he died.
Sure.
Because
So,
for me it was difficult.
Radhacharan Baba, he's asking, he did not understand before the story with your Param Gurudev, how he shouted, Nitai, Nitai, asking if...
I asking you to...
Okay, he's asking me to repeat. So I will repeat. I think this is, correct me Gurudev if I'm wrong, when the kirtan was going on one morning, you told this story that Mohan Dada, Radha Mohan Das Babaji was doing kirtan, and when the kirtan reached its pinnacle, then...
Come to the Baba. No?
Come to the Baba, yeah.
He do the Baba bit, that's all.
That song you made a Baba wish, awareness of the Baba you made out in that melody. And then Param Gurudev suddenly was in meditation and suddenly exclaimed, actually roaring.
He jumped.
Roaring, jumped, okay. Please use share Gurudev because...
He jumped up and shouted, very high voice. Impossible for him to shout in 120 years because it's coming from his navel. He never, I listened to loud voice from him, very slow talking, very soft. Very, very sweet talk. You can imagine 120 years age person, how much he is strong. Only his body was a skeleton. There is no anything. My God.
Like Keshav Baba.
Keshav Baba is very strong. He is only 60 years, 70 years old.
More fit than us.
And he is 120 years, double than him.
And he jump up?
Jump up on the bed. He can walk. He was always walking. He don't need any help or stick. He never keep the stick. Only just from dogs and this walking. He walks from Mahaprabhu temple to here, Harabadi to here. He always walks.
Said he was keeping a bag with Yamuna side one time.
Always, yeah, one bag. He never keep anything. He opened the books, the money comes. Somebody gives money, keep it there. You don't know everything.
Like you used to keep your money under the mattress.
I am very tolerant.
You had no Almira. Everything under the mattress.
He is very happy. He cannot be a dust. This is 115 years old boys. 115 years.
Was recorded.
Gurudev, in Saints of Vraj, also one time we were reading it saying that we cannot imitate the saints, but we can meditate on them, on their pastimes.
Out there, Lila.
Then mercy flows.
But yes, that is the current. That is the vibe. Vibe, we receive the vibration. Flow.
So that's why when we glorify the Mahajans, it's not to glorify that we put up there, of course, very elevated, but we glorify so that mercy can flow to our lives. So, yeah.
That current can flow. Vibe.
So if we Gurudev meditate on our Guru Parampara, then this mercy is coming straight to us.
Yes. This is Siddha. Okay, I'm not qualified. My Guru says will care. This is the lineage, they all has to care. That is the more protection. Huh? One protection, one guru is protecting. And the lineage is protecting. All they are trying to bring up to you. Like this, then there is no any difficulty. This is
Radhe Radhe Govinda.